All right, today we're going to tackle something that really it impacts every single part of our lives. How to get a handle on our own minds and emotions. We're going to explore some incredibly powerful, science-backed ideas that can help you go from feeling like you're just reacting to everything to actually being in the driver's seat. So let's dive right in.
You know that feeling, right? A wave of anger or anxiety or just sadness washes over you, and it feels like you're just along for the ride, totally powerless. It's a feeling we've all had. But what if I told you that whole feeling is based on a big misunderstanding of how our brains actually work?
Okay, so this one idea from neuroscientist Dr. Lisa Feldman Barrett, it pretty much changes everything. It reframes you not as some victim of your feelings, but as their architect. See, your emotions aren't just things that happen to you. They are constructions that your brain builds. And here's the kicker. If you're the one building them, that means you can also learn how to build them differently. Okay, so before we jump into all the how-tos, we've got to take a quick peek at the blueprint, right? To control something, you first have to understand how it's put together. And it all starts with a simple but really profound model of how our minds are wired.
So this is basically the core idea behind cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT. And honestly, it's so simple, but it's powerful. Our thoughts, our feelings, and our actions, they aren't separate things. They're all locked in this constant feedback loop. Think of it like this. A thought pops up, that creates a feeling, that feeling makes you do something, and that action just proves your original thought was right. It's a cycle. The key is knowing where to step in and break that cycle. And this brings us to a really crucial idea called cognitive appraisal. It's a fancy term for a simple fact. Two people can go through the exact same event, let's say someone cuts you off in traffic, and have totally different emotional reactions. Why? Because it's not the event itself, it's their interpretation of it. One person thinks, that jerk has no respect, and just feels rage. The other thinks, whoa, they must be in a serious rush, and maybe feels a little concerned, or just lets it go.
And that right there, that's where all your power is. Your interpretation of what happens is so much more powerful than the situation itself when it comes to deciding how you feel. It's that little space between stimulus and response. So let's get into the actual tools you can use to get in there and master that space.
Think of this section as your emotional first aid kit. This is for those moments when you feel that wave of emotion starting to build and you need to get a grip, like right now.
Okay, first up, a brilliant little mental filter. It's called the 6 and 6 rule. When you feel yourself starting to spiral about something, just stop. Ask yourself one question. Will this matter in 6 months? If the answer is no, and let's be honest, it usually is, then you give it no more than 6 minutes of your attention. That's it. Done. It's such a simple way to stop wasting precious mental energy on things that just don't matter in the long run.
Sometimes your brain just gets stuck in a loop, and you need something physical to break the cycle. Deep breathing isn't just fluff. It literally tells your nervous system, hey, we can calm down now. A quick walk gets you into a new environment and changes your body's chemistry. And that 5-4-3-2-1 trick, it forces your brain out of its anxious thoughts and into the real world, right here, right now. Even something like holding an ice cube can give your system a little jolt to break an intense emotional spiral.
Okay, so first aid is absolutely crucial, but we don't want to just be putting out fires, right? We want to build a fireproof house. This next part is about the deeper work, actively changing the thought patterns that create those difficult emotions to begin with.
All right, this is where we really put that interpretation is greater than situation idea into practice. So you catch that negative thought, like, I'm not smart enough for this. Instead of just accepting it, you challenge it. You ask it 3 questions. Is this true? Is it helpful? And is it kind to me? Almost always the answer to all 3 is no. Then you flip the script. Instead of worrying about the worst-case scenario, you force your brain to consider the opposite. What's the best that could happen? I could absolutely nail this.
Now, this next one is a total game changer, especially when you're dealing with other people. When we're in a disagreement, our default mode is to get defensive and prove we're right. But if you can just consciously shift from I need to be right to I'm curious about why they feel that way, everything changes. You instantly shift the entire energy of the conversation from a battle to a collaboration.
Now, these next habits aren't quick fixes. Think of them like going to the gym for your brain. You're literally rewiring it over time. Keeping a gratitude journal actually trains your brain to start looking for the good stuff automatically. A mood journal helps you become a detective of your own mind, so you can spot the patterns and the triggers. And having a personal mantra, something as simple as, I can do hard things, sets a powerful intention for your day and primes you for resilience.
All right, let's pull the camera back for a second, because controlling your mind isn't just about the tricks and techniques you use in the moment. It's about building a whole life that acts as a strong foundation for your emotional health.
And look, I know this might look like generic health advice, but these are the absolute, non-negotiable pillars of emotional regulation. When you're sleep deprived, your ability to manage emotions just plummets. A bad diet can send your mood all over the place. Exercise is one of the most powerful anti-stress tools we have, and having a passion gives that emotional energy a healthy place to go. Seriously, this stuff is the bedrock. All the other cool mental tricks we've talked about, they're built right on top of this.
I mean, that quote is intense, but it's true, isn't it? It's a powerful reminder that your environment, especially the people you're around, matters so much. You can have the best mental toolkit in the world, but if you're swimming in poisoned waters, you're going to have a bad time. Protecting your energy means you have to be disciplined about who you give it to.
So, the flip side of cutting out the toxic stuff is actively, intentionally building up the good stuff. We are wired for connection. Just talking about what you're feeling with someone you trust can be unbelievably helpful. And please, hear me on this. Asking for professional help, that's not weakness. That's like a pro athlete hiring a coach. It's a sign of strength and a smart move to build your skills.
All right, let's tie all of this together. We've looked at the mind's blueprint, and we've filled up our toolkit with everything from in-the-moment first aid to long-term life design. So after all that, what's the big takeaway?
You know, there's this huge myth out there that emotional control means you just stuff your feelings down and pretend you're a robot. That's not control, that's repression. And trust me, it always backfires. True emotional control is about skillful awareness. It's about being able to notice what you're feeling, get curious about why you're feeling it, and then choose how you want to respond in a way that helps you.
And that brings us full circle, right back to where we started. You are the active constructor of your emotions. You are the architect of your own inner world. You have the blueprint, you have the tools, so the only real question left is, what are you gonna build?